Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm playing with Christy's Beautiful Life Series 15 for 30 Days of Sketches, and I'm following along with Gloria Montross sketch today, which is day 5. I'm also using my Counterfeit Kit challenge, which I have a ton of papers for this month, and so I picked out these 3 goofy pictures of myself and my youngest, because why not? And then I picked out this Hip Kit Club paper that's rainbow sherbet, and it's from Awesome Life collection, and I'm going to use these Hip Kit Club nesting dies because I have these circle ones. I also have them in hexagons, but there's circles on the page today, so I decided to cut out my pictures because I can. It's just our goofy faces that I need. So I did that for all 3, and then because I have the 3, I kind of want to do a flip book with it. So I'm just making sure that that fold is just underneath the cut line, so it's stuck together pretty good. So I'm gonna fiddle with it, and then it opens up like that, and done. So I just use this on, it's a little thicker than regular printer paper, but it is printer paper, and so yeah, it'll work. I do beef it up in a couple places later. I did decide I might want the bigger circle so that it could have a border. Almost cut it on the wrong side, but I noticed. Yay. And so this one I can leave a little bit more because the circle's quite a bit bigger. I didn't really want to score my picture and have my picture have a score line in it to flip it to, so that was a way around that part of things. And so this is what that's kind of going to look like. And so that part is done already. And my die cut machine comes out a lot today, so I'm thinking that big one will go there, and I want this big love stamp from Spellbinders, and it's one of their monthly kit ones for their stamp kit, and I also have the die that cuts it out, and so I'm using, this is regular paper. Normally it works really well, and it, for the life of me, did not want to stamp, so I'm going to cut a lot of that out, but maybe I should have used the eraser to start with, but I do eventually. It didn't really make a difference. So I picked out some colors that might work with that page. I'm going to start with this hot pink, which is actually a pretty juicy dye ink. Sorry, I'm going to use a pigment ink in a little bit, but that middle of the E would not stamp. So I try it like that for a bit. I add a little bit more underneath. I end up adding foam underneath. I flip my platform around in case I'm using the other side, and it just wasn't going to. So I probably stamped that love in the pink probably about 40 times to try and get it. And then I decided I was going to try the pigment, and the pigment isn't working. I've used the eraser on it probably 4 times already. It just did not want to stamp nice. So I'm pushing down hard. I've added more to it. Like, I'm really pushing on that. I'm getting it a little bit more. And I decided to use the pink pigment ink instead of the dye because it does have a lot more juiciness on it. It does stay wet longer, but. And so this last time it sticks. And I'm like, yay, I will use my pressure tool on the side of the paper then, and that made the impression I needed. And then here's that die. So I'm gonna cut the die out for this orange, and then I'm also going to use it 2 more times from just cardstock, and so I have something to double it up. So I'll show you the one, and then I'm going to skip ahead to the other ones being done because it's the same process. And so now I have all 3 of them. And I'm just going to add glue to this one. You can see that I used the back side of that other piece of cardstock so that I wasn't wasting cardstock. And then just lining it up. The liquid glue makes it pretty easy. I should have probably waited to put the 3rd bit on because the first one kind of moves again, but it is what it is. You get it on and fiddle it with it a little bit. Wouldn't have been as big of a deal, but I do have some of that pinky color, and it is showing through when I didn't quite get it to there. So now it is, and that works. And so I'm trying to decide what to do with those circles. So I pull out, this is my whole kit. And so I am going to use this Vicki Boutin Color Story floral study paper in a little bit, but not to start with. I have some unknown pages. I have cut aparts in here. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I'm hoping to get the papers for this up today. I just haven't gotten there yet. I thought about this one. It has a little bit of orange in it, but the pink was just too distracting. This has orange and pink in it, so I thought maybe that one would work. And that could have worked, but it's not quite the feel I was going for. So I'm like, nah. This one could have worked, maybe. I don't know. It just was not quite the feel I wanted to go with, so. And then I find this Pink Fresh Studios page called Keeping It Real, and it was in my kit in my May kit, and I pulled it forward to my June because I really want to use this one. And so I'm going to cut the circles out of that one, but I'm going to try a couple more just to make sure I lift this part of the process in, because yeah, sometimes it's hard to know how much people flip through their pages and aren't sure. That one would have worked too, but kind of like this. And so that says highs and lows, and then love. We love our kids in all the highs and the lows. So I thought that one was a good one to put on her page. And so I'm going to tape it on. I'm just getting it exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to cut around the circle as close as I feel like I can go, and then I'm going to put it through the die cut machine because I totally like this paper and I want to use as much of it as I can, and so that works best. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to do this one more time, actually 2 more times eventually. So I'm going to do this one, and that rainbow says, around that rainbow it says, you don't have to be perfect to be awesome. And so I thought that was a good one for this page. And then I decided that I kind of wanted the photo on the top outlined. So I'm going to use the big one, which is what I used for the flip book part of it. And then this little one is what I use for my picture. And it doesn't work out perfectly, but it's going to be good enough. So I'm going to take these two together and then pop the photo out and then figure out where I want it. So I chose here. The funny thing about this is the one word you can read is bad. So that was one of the reasons why I choose to use the blue side instead of the white side. But I was thinking about the white side for a little bit, and then I think the black is too much, which is fine. And I'm going to go back to that rainbow sherbet page. So I was thinking about, do I do that on the inside? I think it's a little harder, so I'm not going to do it on the inside, but I was debating. And then this love now goes. I was thinking I might have to stamp it again, and I really didn't want to. So just sorting out this part of things, and then down by my right on the bottom screen in that blue circle, it actually says bad. I'm like, I could cover it up, but do I want to make sure I have to cover it up? I don't know. What does the blue look like? Blue's not bad. The blue's on the base page anyway. And I went, yep, the blue is going to work just fine. So I'm going to get this on. And these circles are not perfectly 100% the same circle. So that made it a little bit difficult because it doesn't quite match up 100%, but oh well. And then I did pull out my score buddy or my score pal, and it wasn't scoring nicely for this flap on top. So I pulled out my trimmer, which has a score blade on it too, and that I could line up a little bit better. And so now I have this flat piece that's going to stay connected down because that'll get glued to my page, and then the photo's going to go in. And this is where I realized that it's not perfect now because I flipped it, but it is what it is. And so I was trying some of the other ones, but I didn't make you watch that, and I'm going to go back to this one that I originally wanted on the top because none of them are perfect. So I'm going to get that in as best as I can. And then the two photos are going to go inside like that. And so on the sketch, there's these two circular elements. That middle element is, I think it's square, but with a circle, something like that. But the photo I think was square and the mat was a circle. But this is what I decided to do. And then I'm just rotating this around because I wanted the paint on the background on this pattern paper to go in a different spot. So, and then I pulled out some of my stash for these orange, and they are the same color as the orange love, so that ties that orange in a little bit more, because the one on the Sherbet rainbow page is a little bit more muted. And then I'm going to fussy cut a bunch of these flowers out of this flower paper from the Vicki Boutin paper. And I'm not going to make you watch that, but the key to that is moving your paper, not your scissors. And then these are all of the ones I cut out. And so that took me a little bit, not too long, but long enough that it gets a little boring when you're watching somebody do that. So I didn't make you watch that part. And then this is going to change a little bit from what I originally thought, but that's okay. So when I'm planning it out, I'm putting those orange and, I don't know, creamy orange-ish colored ones underneath that rainbow, and they're not going to stay there. I'm going to cut out another pink one and another black one. And so I'm thinking kind of like that. And then I'm going to I'm going to glue these, and then I'm going to slide everything off, and then I'm going to totally forget what I did with a couple of them. And that's okay, because that's what I do. And I could take pictures of it, and I know there's a lot of creators out there that do take a picture when they get it all set up, and I don't. Not ever. So I'm going to cut one more circle out of black cardstock, and it's just going to go right behind all of it to give it a little bit more structure on that back piece, because it's on like a heavier printer paper, and then that'll make that work a whole lot better. The one above isn't so bad because it has the frame and the two pictures, and then this will give a little bit more structure to that flap too, so that it's just kind of hanging on. And then I'm going to ink this one and my two bigger circles in black, and then it just hides a little bit of that black cardstock that was sticking out, and it looked good anyway. So I decided, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Finally going to cut this paper down to size. And I'm going to pull my T-square out because I want this center-ish. It doesn't have to be perfectly center, but close. Then I'm just going to line part of the corner, and then I had to enter my phone. So my screen's a little different because I had to enter my phone. And so then I'm gluing this down, and I slid everything off already, and now that's why I don't remember where everything went. So yeah, a picture would help that, but that's not how I do things. So yep, yeah. So I'm going to glue this love down, and because it's got that 3 layers of cardstock, it actually ends up being quite a bit dimensional. You can't really see it on the screen, but it does stick up quite a bit more, which is lovely, but it's not foam tape dimensional. So, and I didn't want to try and figure out how to get foam tape on there. My foam tape is like in squares and circles, and that's a little bit harder. And so you can see those flowers are not going to go underneath that circle, because the bottom circle, because I already glued it down. So I'm going to have to figure out something else. And then I'm going to finish fussy cutting a couple of these because I didn't do the top one. And so this one I think I just left in. And then I realized the yellow one, I didn't fussy cut around all of it either. I don't know. Got distracted or something. And that one's going to go up there. There was an embellishment cluster a little bit further over in the sketch, and I just wanted it closer to what I got going on. So I'm going to cut these ones out. And this is going to overlap on this bottom picture because it can and there's room, and why not? And then the orange one here to pull that orange in another spot. And then deciding what to do. I want some more flowers down here, but that one's not gonna work. And then that one I had dropped on the floor. So pick it up because I'm like, I had another orange one. And then checking to see if there was any smaller yellow ones, because I could have put a yellow one on the page too, but I'm just going to use this part of the one I've already fussy cut out, and that orange works. And then this orange is going to go right there, just so that it makes kind of a triangle with all of that brighter orange. And then this is a simple story sticker book, and I'm just bringing out 2 tab pieces. So the one's got a spot where I can put the date. I don't know what the date is on these ones yet, so I'll have to find them. But and then around that white corner or the white edge on the inside, I might do some journaling. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to use these white puffy stickers. I think these are Allie Edwards. And then I realized that neither one of my black, or 2 of the 3 of my black flowers aren't down yet. So when I figure that out, I will glue them as I go. I pulled out these enamel dots from Hip Kip Club, and they're almost the same color as that yellow flower from Vicki Boutin's. So I'm going to use the whole line of them because it's not busy enough yet, I guess. And then that one's going down. We're almost done here. So I have 2 more dots to put on. I just kind of put them where some of the hearts were so that it ended up being a bit balanced, and pulled that yellow in different spots. And there's some close-ups. This is the flap. And that is done. Here's some still shots. I hope you liked my video today. Make sure you go send Gloria Montross some love too. And this was fun to do. So I like doing these sketches because sometimes it's a little bit different than what I normally would do, and it kind of pushes me out of my comfort zone. So those circles are definitely it. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you being here. If you want to see more from me, there's some videos above. And if you're not here regularly, there's a subscribe, and I would love it if you liked my video if you did. Thank you so much. Have a great day.